Okay, what I wanted to show you is the difference that I was talking about. So when you log in right now to the class, the way you have been, uh, you wind up being in the class section called Web Development PS Jarnigan, August 2017. Well, things have been updated now. Some software has been dropped. Not to say it's not important, but now they feel other things are more important. So when you log in, if you scroll down the page, you're going to see towards the bottom here two different areas. Here's the current area that you've been in, and here's a new area that you'll go to. So when you finish this area, which you've been working in, and if you were to go down into content, and you go down, you've been working on InDesign, okay? So once you finish InDesign, then go into the new section. Now, what if you see, it used to be InDesign and HTML, Dreamweaver, that sort of thing. This is going to be similar, but in the new version, they're doing something else in the Illustrator InDesign area. But you don't have to worry about that. It's drawing out layouts, and you can do that in Illustrator or InDesign. So you haven't really missed anything. But some of this stuff is newer. There's a newer textbook and different things here. So once you finish InDesign, then when you're in this area, come back and up in this area right here, click, and you'll see two different areas. Here's the area you've been working in. Go down to here where it says 2018. So now when you go into the content area, it looks pretty much the same, but when you go into the content area now, and let's see, you've been in, you can see Photoshop wireframing. You don't have to worry about that. You can do wireframing with Illustrator or InDesign. So now this is the next section you would be doing, but this information further down has been changed a little bit. So that's why I want you to be just going here, and you'll be in where most of the class already is. There are other people that were in the old section that were moving over into the new section too, so you're not the only one. So anyhow, once you finish InDesign, you see it's not in the new section. Once again, it's valuable, and you can do your wireframing that they're doing now in a different way. You can do it in Illustrator or InDesign to give a basic layout. So you don't have to worry about any of that. So now, once you do InDesign, you would come in here, and then scroll down. It looks like a blank page, but it really isn't. There's just one line here. And then all the information for HTML 5 and CSS 3 is in this area. So it may take a moment for it all to pull up. There's a lot of information here, but here it is. And this explains this textbook. So this is the next book that you'll want to get if you don't already have it. And then the data files you'll use are in here. There are little videos for different chapters that are in here. And then this explains everything. You'll be working on what they call hands-on projects. So just read through everything. You'll work through their assignments at the end of each chapter in this book, but you don't have to do those. All I'm asking you to do as you read through the chapters, work on the hands-on practice. Now, chapter 1, you just read, and you'll list 5 things you learned. Then some of the chapters you can see, starting with chapter 2, you'll want to work on the hands-on practice and put these files in a folder and zip it and upload it to the Dropbox. Okay. Some of the chapters you'll want to read the information. It says it right here. Chapter 1 is an overview of web development. So your assignment is to read the chapter, upload 5 things you learned in the chapter. Use a 5-item list for chapters 1, but also chapter 5, 10, and 12. So remember, chapter 1, 5, 10, and 12, you read the chapter and list 5 things you learned. The rest of the chapters, you'll want to use the files that you've downloaded. Student data files are here that you can download. And as you get to the hands-on practices in the textbook, you'll be able to work with that, with the files they have. And I'll just show you, let's see if I can get to that real quick. show you what that looks like. If I have fortunately access because of a school thing that teachers have. I can get to the book, an online version. They don't have it available for students. They have some online stuff, but it's not like the Photoshop book and that sort of thing. But like here's chapter 2, and as you work through chapter 2, here's where it starts. Like I said, you'll be working with a regular paper textbook. And as you read through, read all the information, follow everything they're showing when you get to this textbook. And when you finally get to something, it's like a little green button. It'll say hands-on. That's where you're actually going to use the text or the coding that they're supplying for you in the student files. And see, don't skip on anything. Take your time and read through it so that you can get a really good start on the HTML information. But here's the first one, hands-on practice. They're going to explain to you how to do it. They're going to show you the coding. They're going to explain where to find the file, how to set everything up. It's all, and every time you see one of these, hands-on practice, that's where you're actually going to turn something in. Okay? Everything else, read it. Don't skip over it. It's going to get you ready for these things, and there are a lot of good information in here. Okay, so basically that's it. And then when you're ready to turn the file in, there is no link here. I don't think they set it up with a link here to turn it in. So what you do is go back to the top of the page, go to Dropbox. And now this is not the same Dropbox you were turning things in. So that's why finish turning in your InDesign, then you'll go over to this for the next book. So you won't see your stuff in here, but that's okay. Well, you've already turned it in, I've recorded it and everything. Come down through here till you get to, here it is. Wireframe you're not doing. You've done Photoshop. Wireframing they're using instead of Illustrator and InDesign. That's not a problem. You don't have to back up or anything. So here you go. Here's where you would turn in your information for chapter 1. You would come in here. Here's a little video you can watch. It's also on the other page. And to turn in your files, you click right here. And this is where you would add a file and submit and all that. You can leave the little note. So what you'll be doing is all the files you work on the hands-on, make sure it's in a folder, zip the folder, and then you would upload and add the file here. Okay, then you would hit submit once you uploaded it, and done, and you got it. So basically that's it. All right, so once again, you'll have 2 spots here. You'll see this is the old one you finished with InDesign, and here's the new one for the new setup. Once you move into here, what they're ultimately going to do, they're going to close this area. We won't be referring to it anymore, and because all the newer, more current information is in here. Hope this makes sense, and I hope it's helpful, and thank you for listening.